What's up, everybody? This is Alex with WMD back at you again, and this time we just, we're just playing around with Crater a little bit more. So in that little jam, I had my Crater, Fracture, Chimera, and Crucible, the whole WMD drum line, WM drums, if you will, all sequenced by Metron, and then I had a bass line, which was a Spectrum running into the pole 0 into an ADSRVCA, which is right there. And then I had that going out just into the mixer. I had a second Spectrum following the same volt per octave sequence, and the sine wave of that's going into Spectrum. And that's going into the PWM. So, kind of creating that real nice harsh sound to start with, and then filtering it out with the pole 0. So Crater, why is Crater special? Why is Crater so much fun to play with? Why should you have Crater in your system? Why should you have Crater in your mix? Well, I hope I was able to kind of demonstrate that a little bit with the performance. It's an analog and digital hybrid kick drum. It gives you those analog booms and the nice digital clicky attack that we hear so much in music and dance music in general. But, lots of different kinds of music are going to be using this style of kick drum. So that was just a trigger and the output going into the mix. And we have our pitch decay. I kind of went through a bunch of different click level, click timbres, and things like that, just to kind of show you what it sounds like in the mix. So on top of that, I just kind of wanted to show a couple more things that we could do with it. So basically, this is kind of just a demo to show what it sounds like in a mix, but I thought we could add a couple more fun things. So in that demo, I was using the sustain stage with the knob here. So you can hear I've got gates going on in my Metron. So if I go into here, you can see I've got 100% gates next to each other, and that's making those nice long quarter notes. And then at the end, I have a 100% gate next to a 75% gate going twice. So that's how we're getting that eighth note thing at the end there. Now if I turn down the sustain level, you'll hear that it's just a thud, right? Thud, 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 thud. So when we turn the sustain up, now we've got these nice long gates opening up our Crater, making our Crater sing and just really having that full sound. And that's kind of cool for changing it up in the mix, right? We've got a nice hard attack, and then this is kind of filling up the tonal area. And so with the sustain level being variable volumes, that's really nice for mixing in with a bass line, right? So here's our bass line. Let's make this real filtered out. So right now this is a pretty good mix. It sounds pretty nice, but if I turn up the sustain all the way, it gets real heavy and it almost overpowers that bass line. Still sounds really nice, but I can bring it back and get it to sit in the mix just a little bit better. So that is a fun aspect. That sustain level thing is really useful. So the next thing I wanted to show is just a little bit of the saturation. So we're going to listen to the saturation, and I'm going to use Volterra like an offset. So I'm just going to clear Volterra track 1. I'm going to run it into the saturation input. I'm going to hold the select input, and we're just going to turn the knob just to get a little bit of extra grit there. So here's with just barely, 0 grit right there. If we turn this up, I'm using a quantized voltage, but that doesn't really matter. There we go, that one sounds pretty good. So that just adds a little bit of grit. So here it is without the sustain, or saturation, excuse me, and here it is with it back in. So just a little bit more. Just got a tiny bit of sizzle on the top. Just makes it sound real nice. So another trick that I like to do that I think is fun is just run a little bit of FM into the Crater. And in the videos I've done in the past, we're just going Spectrum directly in, and so into the volt per octave. But what we're going to do in this demo now is we're going to take the sine wave of our Spectrum and we're going to run it through the DVCA over here. And the DVCA has a bias knob, so we can use it as an attenuator if we just use channel 1. So I'm going to run that into volt per octave here. And we'll listen to the kick drum. And that's where we're starting, right? And now I'm just going to turn up the bias. We can get real crazy real quick, right? We can change the octave or the tuning by adding just a little bit of FM on there, especially a high frequency, is a pretty cool sound. Another thing I like to do is just use a tiny bit of pitch envelope amount, but then turn up the decay a lot so we've got this kind of slow envelope going. Now let's hear that with everything. Click back up. Go to one of these other sounds or one of these other sequences. So I'm going to turn the FM back off. So that sounds really good as it is, but just adding a tiny bit of FM on there. It's just another way to get a little bit more high frequency content in there. And then maybe you could do a breakdown where we just go crazy. That sounded cool. I thought it sounded kind of fun. That's something you might want to practice, obviously, but it sounds pretty cool. So let's just add a little bit more. All right, there we go. And then we did this in an Instagram video, but we can add another pitch envelope in here too, which is kind of cool. So now instead of running our volt per octave out of the Spectrum, I'm just going to run it out of this multi-mode envelope here. And then we're just going to trigger the multi-mode envelope on, we'll put that on AR mode, and we will trigger the multi-mode envelope on quarter notes. So let's find out what channel that is. It's number 10. We'll make that a nice fast attack, slow release. And we're using, now we have two pitch envelopes that we can dial in, right? So we've got the first one here, and then this second one, we'll turn up the bias, and that's all the way. So that's 8 volts going into volt per octave. So, oof, that's too much. We can attenuate that a little bit. We can just get even more crazy hard attack there. It is kind of fun to do a slow pitch envelope over here, and then a fast envelope with the second multi-mode envelope. And we've got that saturation. I'm going to turn it up a little bit more. Now with the saturation, we might want to turn the gain down just a tiny bit. Might be a little much. We can turn that down. And like I said, I'm using quantized voltages here, so I'm just going to turn them to unquantized. And then we'll do that again. So there's zero saturation. There's just a tiny bit. Man, that sounds really nice. No click click. And we'll bring the click back in. So that's adding the multi-mode on there. Obviously, you don't have to do that, but it is just kind of fun to mess around and do some extra things. So here's a different sequence. Now I'm going to turn off the gates here. We're just going to clear our gate pattern. We're just going to go back to triggers on 4 on the floor. And now we'll turn up the decay a little bit. And I've got this tuned kind of to be in the same sound here, right? So I can tune it lower. And that's it. So yeah, that is Crater in the mix and a couple different experimental ideas of just things to play around with. So thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't got a Crater yet, check out the WMD website and pick one up. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.